Little Nightmare 2 is full of so many wonderful mysteries, so many unanswered questions, and so much lore. What I'm going to try to do is answer one of the most interesting and one of the hardest questions in this game. When did the tower appear? The signal tower. The signal tower which drives this world into madness, chaos, and darkness. It is the antagonist behind the scenes. The tower, the creator of monsters. It is a conundrum and a mystery. So what I'm going to try to do, for my part, is tackle when did the tower first appear in Little Nightmare's world. To understand when the tower appeared, we need to look deeper. And we need to look at the environment around us. We need to gather evidence, and we need to use things that are irrefutable and based in science that might help us to establish when the tower first appears. So follow me down this road as we explore the fun aspect and a possibility of finding at the end of this video of when we think the tower first appeared. I did quite a lot of research on this because I'm always fascinated with nature reclaiming cities. If we take into account the environment of Little Nightmares 2 world, we can see things are not as what we thought they were, and the time frame may be shorter than what we think. So how fast did this happen? And when did the tower appear? If we use the first sign, nature, as a key in our finding out when the tower appears, it's telling a different story. Forest reclaims things pretty quick. Nature reclaims things pretty quick. As you can know, if you leave your lawn uncut, it can grow back pretty fast. And we can see evidence that nature really didn't take a foothold in this city. In the forest, where humans' activity is relatively low, the cabin is pretty much intact. It's not overgrown. It's not having trees fall down on it. Nature seems to be pretty much as it would be if human activity was still relatively high. If we keep going around, we can see that nature hasn't really reclaimed anything in the city. The buildings are falling apart, but that could be for a number of reasons. Nature reclaiming back human habitat is a great way to tell a time frame. And from what I see about Little Nightmares World 2, nature seems to not have time enough to reclaim most of human habitat, which is now narrowing our time frame. Alan Wiseman, a professor, wrote and did a study on it. It takes about 5 years for it to start to look like a forest. Within 20 years, the skyscrapers will start to come down. And in 200 years, the forest will reclaim the city completely. And we can see from his study that the forest really didn't even begin to take over. So the 5-year frame is a good starting point to go and use to find out when the tower started. One of the biggest indicators that the time frame now is less than 5 years of when the tower first appears is electricity. Yes, the city may be run by some sort of power source that never ends, but electricity has so many gaps in it that causes interruption. Without constant human interaction, It's like a domino effect. Once one starts to go bad, the system itself starts to collapse. So the fact is that the electricity, power, is still on. It's a big indicator that the time frame is far less than 5 years. Another thing is the people. The people of the town, if this was a long-term invasion or a long-term process, the people would show signs of it. But if you look at the people's health and stature, they're well-fed, they're not emaciated, their clothes aren't falling apart, and they still have some sort of a resemblance of a normal life, even though their behavior is anything but. So, judging by how they look, their appearances, their health is, their body shapes are, they don't look like they've been in this state for a long term. There is a lot of evidence that the tower appeared far less than 5 years. There's a lot of evidence that this was a sudden and powerful attack on the people of Little Nightmares World. For example, if you had your citizens being controlled like this, where's the resistance? Where's the enforcement? There is none on the streets. There's no barricades. There's no sign of a last stand. There's no resistance movement. In fact, everything looks like it happened in an instant, which is pretty disturbing if you really think about it. Where are the guards? Where are the protection for the people? There is none. The tower looked like it appeared and had carte blanche of the city. So in conclusion, I believe from what I'm seeing that the tower most likely appeared less than 2 years, and that its influence was instant and powerful in some degrees, and its envelopment and consumption of the people of Little Nightmares World was much faster, probably less than 3 or 2 years. The evidence from the nature, from the people, from the buildings themselves, from the garbage on the street, it doesn't scream longevity, but screams instant and total surprise, which actually adds to the fear and terror and the mystery of the tower, the signal tower. Yes, we may try to figure out when it first appears, and we may get a good estimate, but it doesn't take away from the lore and the darkness and the surprise and mystery of the signal tower itself. So, thank you guys for listening to your channel as I go through some more lore and some more about Little Nightmares World 2. I really enjoy doing these, and I hope you enjoy listening because it is fun to do. So, tell me when you think the tower first appeared. There's a lot of evidence if you look at it. If we put our video game Sherlock Holmes hats on, we could all come up with a theory, maybe even come together to come up with a more accurate time frame. So leave your comments below, and I'll read them with most interest. And guys, thank you for joining your channel, not just mine. Thank you.